Happy morning to all of you and welcome to day 2 of the World Youth Meet 2018. I hope you're all staying happy and healthy. This morning, we're going to have 2 speakers interspersed by a very engaging interactive session. The first of the speakers for this morning is Ms. Bharati Singh. Ms. Bharati Singh is the founder and managing trustee of Samudra Foundation and the Yuva Helpline. Samudra is a non-governmental organization founded in 2008 with the objective of empowering rural youth through integrated personality development programs, capacity building, and skill training programs. They also promote and encourage environment awareness programs as well among the youth, besides helping them identify their core strengths and work towards their self-betterment in a highly competitive world. Ms. Singh, for all her work that she has been doing over the past many decades, has been awarded the Kempegowda Award for Excellence in Social Work by the State Government of Karnataka, Changemaker Award by the Bangalore Management Association, and the British South India Council of Commerce Award for Youth Empowerment, to name a few. She's going to be our first speaker today. I request you all to put your hands together to welcome Ms. Bharati Singh from Samudra Foundation.
I think this is okay. Mostly children, right? Mostly children. ಸಾಯಿರಾಮ್, ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಸಭೆಗೆ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಈ ಸಭೆ ಇರದೇ ಇರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಈ ವಾತಾವರಣವೇ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿದೆ. ಬಹಳ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಮನಸ್ಸುಗಳು, ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿರುವಂತಹ, ಮುದ್ದು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿರುವಂತಹ ಈ ಸಭೆ ಅತಿ ಸುಂದರ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಟು ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯ ಸಾಯಿ ಬಾಬಾ to have brought me here. This is the first time I'm exposing myself to any of Baba institutions. I'm actually too emotional to be here today. My pranam to everybody gathered here from across world. Good morning, beautiful people. Especially today, I'm so very honored to be here at this elegant event. This elegant event, the World Youth Day, need of the time, actually. I'm thankful to young and dynamic Rajat, who worked towards bringing me here, and Subhashini, who tried to accompany me and took all the troubles to bring me here. Thank you so much. Samudra, thanks for that introduction. Samudra in Sanskrit means cohesive, complete, positive personality. And who else can build this cohesive, complete, positive personalities among youth other than Baba himself? He has proved it so right. He was young when he started, 14 years old. So, befittingly today, the World Youth Day should be dedicated to Baba himself, who started so early in his life. Samudra works for youth wellness and empowerment. That's a cause close to my heart. Event of this kind involving youth in pursuit of knowledge and celebration of life is actually a gnana yagna. To remain myself in frame of expectations and not to deviate, I have put my thoughts in writing. I may not sound rehearsed, but then I would like to stay guided here because the time given to me is 40 minutes. I'll try to do justice. Youth, my dear children, you are on the journey of learning, unlearning and learning. You are the future leaders of our families, communities, companies, and country. We know it's your responsibility, it's our responsibility to impart knowledge, skill, right values, and ethics. We have to help you in setting and achieving goals. When we talk about complete positive personality, whose responsibility it is to build positive personalities? The families today, thanks to mini, micro families where single parents, whatever families that the new age has given us, they feel it is institutions' responsibility to, produce well-mannered youth. But the institutions, schools, and colleges feel it is the family's responsibility to give us the so-called, employable lot, well-groomed lot. But the industry feels it is the families and institutions' responsibilities to give us the global citizens. Well-trained, again, job-ready youth. The society feels that it is all these institutions who should produce responsible, positive, progressive youth. So each one of us are transferring our responsibility on others. But I would like to ask today, who's actually responsible to build a positive world? It is you, the youth. Can we build personalities without the presence and the participation of the person? That's you, the youth. In India, we today call more than 40% of our population is young. We call it Youngistan, Youth Nation. And we are all, I think, elders here are selfish to build youth abilities because we wouldn't want to be ruled by unhealthy people tomorrow. We have complaints today. So maybe we are selfish that way, that we have to build youth who are capable, fit, fine. There are so many expectations from youth. Today, the world outside needs able, creative, different, extraordinary, excellent. Excellence is something that everywhere we expect among youth, in everything that they do. When these expectations are set, creating positive personalities is the need of time to put our society back on track, and this exercise needs collective effort. Changing trends in society, families, institutions have pushed youth towards tremendous challenges. They're often left confused. Knowledge available everywhere today in the new age. Skill sets are no more harder, they are rather smarter. We're all wired. The chill, cool behavior is accepted by gurus and grandparents. King or commoner, communication is informal. Swiggy is my mother. One boy told me, because I work closely with the youth, he was telling, I don't need my mom anymore. Swiggy is there. I don't wait for my father to drop me anymore because I have the card and I call the Uber guys. Ola, Uber. And grandparents are all ready to set their new innings. This is the changed India. Meanwhile, there are a lot of expectations from youth from everywhere. Each and every one of us are precious. how do we build ourselves? There are expectations set, there are problems within ourselves. We are in transition period from childhood to adolescence. We have our physiological changes happening, we have academic changes happening, we have sociological changes happening in us. How do we work? Who has to take the initiative? India next, world next. Everywhere this is what is spoken about. What next? Gen next. I must congratulate Satya Sai Ashram again for conceptualizing and designing this most beautiful event for the well-being of youth world over. You have most prominent people speaking after me next 3 days. In Samudra, I meet a lot of youth who are deprived of basic facilities. Some of them clean cars in the apartment. Some of them sell flowers in signal points before going to school. We also have this kind of youth who work so hard, never complain. It's never been why me for them. They come out with this attitude, try me. Our focus is on removing this tag called failure. Nobody is born unfortunate. We are makers, that means you, youth, are the makers and or breakers of your life. I believe every saint has a past, every criminal has a future. WHO reports by 2020, more than 40% of the youth or the world population, 50% of world population will suffer a disorder called depression. And that's where it starts from. Right now in India, BBC reports that every hour there are 2 youth committing suicide. It's not so pleasant to listen to this, but we can't run away from the realities of new age. Social scientists also say, out of every 4, 1 is contemplating self-harm. Who's responsible again? Social scientist says, it is the unnecessary expectations, unrealistic expectations, unnecessary competition, and with due respect to all the mothers and parents who are here, irresponsible parenting. The problem is either have too much or don't have. The extremes. We don't have a balance. In my opinion, self-harm is a result of hopelessness. Now again, we have a big challenge in this world. Whose responsibility it is to bring in hope among our youth. To define youth, it is to limit. When I go, my small organization, when I go talk to people, they say youth is not a big issue. They are energetic, they are talented, they are bright, they are strong, they have physical strength, they have health on their side. So they don't need our help. It's the old age, it is the children, it is the sick, it is the deprived part of society that they need our attention, not youth. But then my experience in Samudra has told, if other section of people are given food, health, nutrition, medicine, whatever, they are harmless. If we don't address these issues of youth, seen and unseen, emerging and to be emerging, or already emerging, if we don't address these issues, our world will be in danger tomorrow. They are the people who are going to rule us. We need this youth power. We need to empower the inner power of this youth power. So it's our collective responsibility. Problem with youth. As I said, to define them is to limit. All you need to do is to tell them what they cannot do. They will put all their might to prove you wrong. Actually. But then they all suffer an inner demon, something from within holding them. That's the self-doubt. That's the confidence which is low in themselves. The fear of failure. Majorly, the fear of failure and the self-doubt is the reason why they wouldn't go forward. Some of them are held back. Pope last year during his World Youth Day addressed, "The young, please be aware of the presence. Do not be held back by the fear of future. Get yourselves engaged in the societal services. Identify your strengths. Fight the weakness." Actually, some part of the world, the youth refuse when I talk about SWOT, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. One of the boys got up and said, "Ma'am, I wouldn't want to believe in the word, in the letter W. Please replace it with C. It's not my weakness. I don't accept the word letter weakness. It is a challenge that I would want to overcome." So it's not SWOT anymore, it is SCOT. So we have such youth who wouldn't even want to accept it as a weakness. So I always tell youth to become the change makers themselves. They have the ability to change the world. They have the ability to transform the world. Choose to be the change maker. Each one of you identify one person around you. Today, the topic theme is youth to youth. You have tremendous potential. It's you who can change the world. You have the ability to do that. Each one of you identify one person around you. Sit with him or her to identify his challenges. Strengths and social science experts also say that the time consumed is 70% lesser when you work on somebody's strengths compared to the time consumed when you work on somebody's weaknesses. So it's easier when we identify our strengths and work towards it. All of us have social, emotional, economical obstacles. When you choose one person, we may not have the resources to change the whole world. We may have complaints that I don't have resources, I don't have the ability, I don't have the strengths. But definitely all of you have the ability to change one person around you. One person around you. Baba also spoke about each one, empower one. Each one, teach one. Each one, handhold another one. I'm sure it is a doable. We all can do. They may not become, when you start working with somebody, uplift them, they may not become exactly what you expect them to become, but they will become somewhat who you are. Social scientists also say that you become an average of 5 people that you live with. So if you are a positive person, if you are a forward-thinking person, if you are optimistic, definitely you can transfer that to somebody who's lesser fortunate. Your little sacrifice in terms of time sharing, may it be knowledge, skill, and information, will result in positive transformation in that other person's life. Having worked with industry, I hear them often complaining that new age, because I'm from the field of counseling, upskilling, and providing employment to youth, most often industry people complain that we don't have youth today who are willing to learn, perform, and grow gradually. If they come, we are ready to help them. Help could be just a call away. If they have problems with financial aspects, we are there to take care of it. If they are knowledge deficiency, we are there to build their knowledge. If they have skill deficiency, we have our seniors to upskill them. We can take care of everything. But then if they are coming with a negative attitude, bad attitude, our doors are shut. The issue today is attitude, which has to be positive completely. Positive in a way to say, yes, I'm ready. When we all, of course, standing here on this platform where Baba has brought in positive change among lakhs, innumerable people, we are all just a speck of what he has done. But in my experience, when I chose to work with people, transforming them, the challenge that we come across is the psyche of the receiver. The attitude of non-receiving, maybe not willing to change, not willing to come out of their comfort zones. But then it takes time. Once they trust you, once they know your intentions are honest, once they know that you're just hand-holding them to come out of their, whatever situations right now they are in, they see change in their own life gradually. Can't believe. Believe me, it's a great feeling to see smile on their faces. I work with youth who are cornered, who are in dark rooms, who are not wanting to come out, who claim themselves that they are misfit, they don't deserve to be in the mainstream. It takes a lot of effort from our side to bring them out of their dark rooms, take them through the therapeutic wellness programs, and then skill them, then they, find them employment. But one smile on their face, when they receive their first salary, or their mothers are happy, when their family is happy, the self-dependence, immense pleasure when I see that little change. There are constraints, there are challenges, but then it's like the mother carrying 9 months, a child within her womb. But when the child comes out, one smile, we just forget what we went through. It's that experience. Giving back to society, all of us, it's a duty. When we don't have any resource, so many people tell, I want to do good, ma'am, but then I don't have this. I ask them, God deposits 24 hours in my bank account every night at 12 o'clock. The most precious resource, free of cost, it is deposited in my account 24 hours. King or commoner, all of us get just 24 hours, not a second more, no matter how busy you are, no matter how lazy you are. If not anything, time is something all of us can give for the other person who needs it. I may not consume 24 hours. The time that I don't consume, I can't save it for next Janma. I think that's the least I can give it to somebody. And today, changing trends, as I said, society suffers sociophobia. Not many parents come out to accept that my son has a problem, my daughter has a problem. May it be the drug abuse. Today, that's another menace. That's the third big reason for deaths among youth. Second, I was told, is the suicides. Many of them don't want to come and tell us. They don't want to accept because we all suffer sociophobia. Youth to youth. This is a great example to tell you here on this platform. We have transformed more than 480 people from embracing death, but then most of them have been identified, recognized, and brought to Samudra through their friends. It is them who identify them. It is them who find out there is help available. And this is what the least you can do is try to identify who's suffering and help them reach, access help. I have 2 examples before. I don't know if I'm crossing my time. I have 2 examples in my professional life. There was this boy who was in Mumbai studying and staying in a hostel. And there was this other rich kids who were with him. There was a formal event and he had to hire or borrow a pair of shoes. And after the formal event, the rich friends, so-called friends who were there in the hostel, they said, they put a condition that you have to wash it, iron it, and give it back to me before returning. So this boy felt, the boy from a poorer family who borrowed shoes, he felt ashamed, he felt humiliated, and he was feeling that it was an abuse. But a friend who was with him reasoned and made sense. Instead, rather, he used appreciative language to make him realize how good he was, in washing and in maintaining or time sense, the boy who washed the shoes and returned. After the act, he was feeling affiliated, and this friend made him feel good, that it is not so bad to give back the shoes washed, but then you were so good. With this, you identify your talent. And later, most of the friends in the hostel started coming to this boy and asking him to wash the shoes. There were other close friends of him. They said, well, you're so good at it, I think God has given you or showing you a way for income generation. This boy started gradually taking shoes of his friends, washing it, ironing it, drying it out, and making it neat and tidy, returning it for 50 rupees a pair. Today, the result of this, you find shoe laundries in all the metros. This boy, instead of saying, why me, he said, try me. Why not I make this as a means of income? This is a job. No job is small or big. And I must thank that friend who humiliated me. I always say, we human beings run on rocket science theory. We don't fly we don't fly high rather, unless there is fire set at the back. And that fire could be of insult. That fire could be somebody saying you're misfit, somebody humiliating you, somebody setting a new challenge, somebody ill-treating you. We need that fire. So, attitude, it's the way how he received this ill-treatment as an opportunity in adversity. I have another story to say. There was another girl who was studying in a government school in Bangalore. She had no TV at home. She was very fond of watching quiz programs. So she went to neighbor's house every time to watch her quiz programs. And that lady, on a barter system, every time this girl went, she gave a plate of garlic for her to peel. So initially, the girl complained about, oh my God, poverty, we don't have TV at home, and I'm used, misused, abused, self-pity. Then, she had pain in her fingers. Gradually, she couldn't do without watching TV, so she would go, and gradually she became an expert in peeling garlic and mastered over the art of peeling it. She came and shared this with her friends in government school, and they started telling her, why not we all find an opportunity? That means why this lady, go to the cause, why this lady doesn't want to peel garlic. She's short of time, she's lazy, or she doesn't like this job, whatever. Her weakness is our strength. Why don't we start a self-help group? This girl started with the school dropout friends, went to the market, wholesale market, bought garlic, started peeling, preserving it in little bit of vinegar, packing it, and started selling to women in the apartments, working women in apartments, and the neighborhood stores. Today you find that's the reason. She added one more product, onion too. Today you find garlic and onion peeled, packed, found readily for the use of women. These are the ways, simple examples of how youth can inspire others, make them feel, realize the strengths in them, convert the negativity into positivity, grab the opportunities that they come, in whatever form. Life does not come to all of us in the form that we expect. We have to accept life the way it comes. And these are beautiful small examples that I have seen in my life who are doing wonderfully well. And this school dropout girls today, they are a big self-help groups. They are studying, they are achieving or pursuing their further education through distance learning. They are earning, they are learning, they are capable, they don't brood over, they are not today whiners, they are winners. They have had the power of bringing transformation in themselves and also creating opportunities, dignified livelihood for others who didn't know that they could, who were not aware of the strengths that were existing in themselves. So, my dear youth, I must only look at you or here a group of youth. You have tremendous power. You have the courage just to look around. There are so many evils in the society across the world. And you have to just look around and pick your cause. When I started my social sector service, I was thinking we human beings choose the cause. But today, having worked with youth who want to end their life, and we have seen, the transformation, positive transformation of building love for life. And when I see them, most of the boys and girls whom we have brought them back, they say today, we love life. We don't have a reason to end it. There is no cause, there is no agony, there is no worry worthier than my precious life. I owe my life to my parents. I owe my life to my country, my nation, this world. I feel the cause chooses us. So be open to the cause to choose you. Be open with open arms to see what best you can do to somebody who is lesser fortunate, somebody who is unserved, somebody who's not come into the fold of, who's not as lucky as you to come under the shelter of, the Divine Baba. There are so many people. Maybe this is one thing that you could do. Just now I heard from the volunteers here that so many schools Baba has come up with. If you could just identify those who need and bring them to the schools and give them this precious gift of education, values and ethics, and the whole principle of love and service, I think that itself will be the biggest service that you would do. So this is what I wanted to tell you, boys and girls. I have learned the art of giving through people or from people whom I have received. So I would want to tell this world is wanting more of you, and it's just not impossible at all. It's just not impossible. All you need is a heart. It's not resources. When I started Samudra Foundation, there were some of us choose the cause because of our personal experiences, professional experiences, and the cause leads us. I never knew when I started this work that I would be able, a single individual, without any resources, without any support, all I had was a will and skill. I thought this will and skill to offer counseling, to train youth, itself is sufficient for me to do the work. But then the divine intervention came, and my ability to pay up the bills also came. I'm able to build lives of so many people. If I could do that with minimal resources, I'm sure you all can do much more. Youth to youth, from youth, for youth, to youth. There are thousands of causes that you can choose. Just be open, be willing, and handhold the needy, help them to visualize, help them to see big picture, help them by helping them to set realistic goals, maybe small goals, short goals, long goals, and handhold them through the pathway in whatever way possible. This world cannot go forward without the youth power. Old and young and older, in all aspects of our society, we need you. We love you. Your lives are most precious to us. In this process of doing good to others, doing good to self, loving life is good, but loving others is the most precious thing to do. In this process, we may fail. Definitely our efforts will fail, but we will not fail to put an effort. Failure is okay. It's okay to fail at times. Failure is part of success. Failure is not final, and failure should not be fatal. I think I must end here. I don't know the time. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you, talk in front of you, whatever I know a little. Thank you so much.
May I now request Srimati Vasanta Srinivas to please come on the dais and present Ms. Singh with a memento.